Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. A hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students.
Hello guys, good evening. Hope so. I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. You're audible.
Thank you, Sushmita, for responding. Yesterday I gave one question, right? How many of you have tried it at least? You guys have to respond, right? Okay. What we did in the last session, we actually completed the Amazon project, right? So we completed the Amazon project and we started with the simple Python project, right? What was that project that we started? Let me just go here. What was that Python project that we started? So we started with Python ATM machine. So basically that performs 4 things. What is that? It is going to perform withdrawal, like basically ATM machine is going to perform this only. Nowadays, actually, they have added cashless, what is that, withdrawal and all. But this is what it is. So we have withdrawal, we have deposit, we have check balance, we have exit, we have change pin, which I told you guys to do it. I don't know how many of you did that. Okay, after that, I told that there are 2 ways that we can solve this program. So the first one was like loops and then condition, and then the second one was hoops. Okay, so this was the program that we wrote. So basically, we are going to start by giving an initial balance. Say any account that we take, okay, any account that we take, so it should have some initial balance. That is the balance that we have given. And every time the loop should repeat, like after checking the balance, suppose if you want to withdraw or if you want to exit, so this should repeat the process. In order this to happen, we have, as I told that it should repeat, so we have to use a loop called as while true. Okay, so once this is getting repeated, so we are going to perform the actions, or we are going to perform the program by choosing the choice. So if it is a choice 1, so we are going to check for the current balance. If it is a choice 2, we are going to enter the we are going to check the amount. See, if it is a choice 2, first thing is we have to deposit the money. Okay, so in order to deposit the money, we have to enter the amount that we have to add it. Okay, if the amount is greater than 0, then the balance will be incremented along with the balance plus amount. Okay, so here the amount is going to deposit successfully, and then we have got the balance. Else, so it is like invalid deposit amount, and then it is going to show that please try again. Suppose if you are going to enter some other thing, let me say if you are going to enter a negative value, that's basically an error. So that error also I want it to be customized. In order to display the customized error, I'm going to use line number 41, that is invalid input, and then please enter the numerical value. And we have choice number 3. So here also I have written like taken the same thing, that is try and then accept. So what is this try and then accept is basically it's called as an exception handling in Python, where again, in order to deposit or in order to, this is I think withdrawing. Okay, in order to withdraw, we have to enter the amount, and if that amount is greater than the balance, okay, whatever, like suppose if you have 10,000 and if you want to withdraw 20,000, it's not possible. So that time we are going to get a message saying that it is what? It is insufficient balance. If it is less than 0, suppose if you are going to enter 0 rupee or -1, then it is going to show what? Invalid withdrawal amount. Else, like if you are withdrawing like the correct amount, then it is going to decrease your main balance. Okay, and if it is like throwing some error, so like if you are giving any negative numbers, then it is going to throw some exception. Else, the choice number 4 is it is going to say thank you for using the ATM, and then it is going to create a break. Okay, now what I will do, I'm going to create the same program. Okay, I'm going to create the same program. Okay, Okay, I'm going to create the same program using what? Using another concept that's basically called as what? Oops concept. What is oops, guys? Can anyone tell me? Anybody know what is this oops in Python? You can just brief out whatever it is that you can understand. You can just brief out. Anyone? I'm just expecting an answer. Okay, got an answers. Okay, what is it? Let me just check. Okay. The concept name object-oriented programming language. It's mainly focused on object and then classes. Very nice. I have a very good example. Like what exactly is this object-oriented? I will just give you an example. Okay. The only thing that I'm going to expect from you guys is make the session interactive. Just a second. I'll connect the Epic pen. Okay. So what is it means? Why do you think so? The soups concept became very popular. And you guys know when it started getting popular? From 2010. Earlier, it was not, nobody even knew the concept. So, what is the difference? I will just demonstrate one simple example, guys, like how this OOPS concept is basically going to work. Okay. So, let's consider we are not in 2024. Let's consider we are in what? 1989 year. Okay, we are in what? 1989, where hardly there were phones, there was no like name of internet at all that time. Correct. Now, let's say there are how many members in the session? Let me say there are 48 members in the session. Okay, all 48 members are from different states. Now 40, 50 it became. Okay, let's say that 50 members, okay, are like they are from Hyderabad. Okay, let me say they are from Hyderabad to Bangalore. They have come to Bangalore. Okay, so now let me say when they are in Bangalore, I know that everyone feels hungry. Correct. So they have come to visit something, and all 50 members are hungry. Now, you guys tell me in 1989, if you are hungry, what exactly you are going to do? What exactly you are going to do? What exactly will do, guys, if you are hungry? First, you are going to decide what exactly you have to eat, right? First, you will choose what to eat, whether to eat dosa, whether to eat idli, okay, or whether to eat biryani, you are going to choose. Okay, suppose if you are choosing a biryani, for biryani only we have 100 hotels, correct? Let me say we have around 10 hotels back then. Okay, 10 hotels. So what we will do, in that 10 hotels, we will choose one hotel, which is close by wherever we are staying. So we will just choose that one hotel and all 50 members will go. Now, what exactly we are going to do after going to the hotel? We have to sit. We have to call the server. After the server is going to come, they have to get what? They have to get the menu card. After they sit, the server gets the menu card. You have to do what? You have to place an order. After that, we have to wait until he gets the food. After the food is arrived, either you have to take it as a parcel or you have to eat it there. After all this, don't forget to pay the bill. Okay, after this, we have to leave the hotel. Isn't it, guys? Isn't it? This is what we have to do, right? Yes. Okay, now, same scenario. Yes. Okay. Now let me say we have the same scenario. Okay. So what is it? Now let me say it is around 2000 what? Let me say this is 2024. Same scenario. Let's consider 50 people have come from Hyderabad. Okay. Hyderabad to what? Bangalore. Now they have to eat. Now you guys tell me what exactly we are going to do. Now tell me exactly what we are going to do.
Malaysian burger.
Guys, please respond. 63 members are there. Now it is 2024. 50 people are hungry. They wants to eat. What exactly that you are going to do? Guys, seriously, please respond back. What we will do? We will open Swiggy, correct? We have what? We have something called as an Swiggy. Okay, we have Swiggy. Okay, Swiggy we have, or we have Zomato, right? We have Zomato or what? We have Uber Eats, correct? Yes. Okay, so we have what? We have Uber Eats. So we will tell everyone to choose the food, right? We have what? We have Uber Eats. Okay, Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats. We have Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats, and we have many other things, right? What we are going to do? We will order the food and then we will just do our work, right? Do our work. Once the food is arrived, then we are going to take the parcel and then we will start eating it. Okay, now you guys tell me what is the difference, guys, that you are going to find from 1989 to 2024? What is that difference that you are going to find? I need answers in the chat, please. Okay. Yes. No, I know, yes, no answers, but what is the difference I'm asking between 1989 to 2024? Communication and then development. Very nice. Very good. Okay. So there is a communication and then development. What kind of development you are able to see here? Can you see actually there is what they have started designing something called as an applications here, isn't it? These are called as an applications where these applications are designed in such a way, okay, where we will not uninstall immediately after we use. Have you guys, after ordering a Meghana's biryani, have you ever uninstalled Swiggy, Zomato, or Uber Eats? No, right? Along with this application, we have AI technology now, isn't it? We have an AI technology also now. So what I mean to say is this application creation is nothing but the OOPS concept where we are allowed to write a programs on the real-time objects. We are allowed to write on what? Real-time objects. What are those real-time objects? Now we shall see in a program. Clear? Now you got to know the difference. Earlier we were not having OOPS concept. There was no AI, that is artificial intelligence was not there. So there was a lot of process. It was taking minimum 1 to 1.5 hours to eat. Correct, but now ordering it will take 2 minutes. Once the food arrives, again eating the food is only the thing, isn't it? So this is why the OOPS concept is very, very important. Okay, now I will start writing the program, same program, whatever we did in the last session. I'm going to write the same program by using something called as an OOPS concept. Okay, now as okay, team will not join. Okay. So now what I will do is nowadays we use technology. Exactly. Without that, we don't even wake up, isn't it? Alarm, phone. Alarm is also what phone is also one device, right? So without devices, we will not do anything. I agree. Okay. Now what I will do, I'm going to write the same program by using an OOPS concept. I know that in Python, the OOPS concept revolves around what? Class. What is this class? So we have something called as ATM. Correct, class is called as what? ATM. So this we are going to write an OOPS concept by using a keyword called as a class and with the class name, that is ATM. And we always start the name of the class name in the capital letter. And what happens this? Okay, and what happens after this means here we can define a properties and then we can define a functions. What is the meaning of properties and then functions? Anybody? What is the meaning of properties and then methods or functions? What is the meaning of this? Or properties, or we say something called as attributes. Okay, methods or what? Functions. What is the meaning of this? Anybody? Main method, ma'am. Okay. Okay. What is that main method? Still, I'm not talking about the main method. I'm just asking about what is the meaning of function. Function is a block of code that can be called again and again. Very nice, Sharanya. Very, very nice. Okay. So what is this properties and then what is this methods means? Let us consider. Don't judge with my picture. Okay, I will just take one car. Okay, this is what this is one car. Okay. Okay. This is the car. Okay, and this is the window. Okay, this is the window. Okay, this is what? This is the window. Sorry, this is the wheels. Okay. Now, what is properties here? And then what are methods or functions here? Procedure for approaching. Very nice, Dikshita. Okay. Now see, what is the property? What is the meaning of property? So in order to build this car, what are all the things that we need? We need tire. Correct? We need a tire. So for this tire, we need to understand for this length of car, what should be the width of the car? Correct? What should be the width of the tire or what is the width of the car? What like based on that width of the car and then based on the height of the car, basically we are going to choose the wheel. Correct? That becomes the property. Basically, in order to make a car, what are all the things that we need? That things are nothing but attributes or properties. It can be a tire, it can be a height, it can be a width, it can be a color. Okay, it can be number of windows. Okay, number of windows. Okay, what is this? All the things will comes under what? Properties. And then what are methods or functions? So basically, what does this car will start doing? So car will start moving, correct? So it starts moving. So that is nothing but speed. Okay, that comes with what? Speed, or we can even say the mileage. Okay, so based on what mileage you will do, based on the brand, correct? Based on the brand, the mileage is going to happen. So this is how basically we are going to understand the properties and then methods. Okay. Now, what I will do, first, I am going to call a function. Based on that function, I'm going to call what? I'm going to call the methods or the like attributes. Okay, for this, we have one inbuilt method in the OOPS concept that's basically called as init. Anybody know what is this init? Now, by default, it is going to take one self and then it is going to take one variable that is balance is equals to 0. Okay, so what is this meaning of self? What is this init? Anyone? And you can see, I'm going to use an underscore for the self. Okay, sorry, underscore for the balance. That basically says that it is private. That means only bank people can see that. Okay, private. Nobody can see. Okay, that is what it is meant. Anybody know what is the meaning of init method? Very nice. Answer is also right. Along with this, we call this as a constructor. What is the meaning of a constructor? Means some data which is there here will be stored in the compiler. That's basically called as what? Constructor. Okay. After this, now I will start defining my own methods. What is that? Let me say first I want to check the balance. Whose balance I should check? I should check my balance. So that is depending upon the object creation. So for that, I'm going to pass self, okay, and then I'm just going to print that. What is that? Let me just say f, okay, and then I'm just going to use a dollar, and I'm just going to pass self dot underscore what? Balance. Self dot underscore and then balance. Okay, so after this enter and then come here. So this is for checking the balance. Whatever, like depending upon the object that I'm going to create at the end, for that object, it is going to call the balance. Okay, now what is the next one? Let me say I'm going to deposit. So this is deposit. Okay, so based on what we are going to deposit, again, based on the object and based on the amount, I'm just going to pass this. Okay. Okay, now if this amount, whatever the amount that I am going to enter, if it is greater than zero, same story, like what we did in the last session, the same story, but there are a few things which are different. Okay, dot underscore what? Balance. Okay, so dot underscore balance. So this is equals to what? What happens to my balance, guys, here? My balance will get added, correct? Self dot underscore balance is going to add. Okay, we'll add with what? Amount. Okay, self dot balance. Okay, with the self dot balance, it is going to add with what? Amount. After this, we can just print what? Let me just print my balance. Okay, so I'm just going to add a dollar. Okay, and then I'm just going to add what? Amount. Okay, along with the amount, you can even check the balance. In order to check the balance, you can just call this function instead of printing it. How to call? It is just self dot what? Check balance. Okay, after this, I'm going to write else. It is going to print what? It is going to say it is an invalid deposit amount. So invalid, what is it? A deposit, okay, amount. Invalid deposit amount. So that's all. This is for what? Deposit. Okay, so next, let me just write withdraw. Okay, let me just draw withdraw, and then I'm going to pass again the self. Okay, I'm going to pass what? Self, and then I'm going to pass what? Amount. Okay, so what happens here? That is if, okay, if the amount is greater than self dot underscore balance. Okay, self dot balance. So it is going to print what? It is going to print insufficient balance. Insufficient balance. Okay, insufficient balance. So else it is going to say what? Else, or you can just go with elif. You can just even add one more condition that if the amount is less than or equal to zero. Okay, so we can just print, okay, invalid withdrawal amount. Withdrawal amount. Okay. Okay, else. Okay, we are just going to say else, and then we are going to print the balance. That is, my balance is going to do what? My balance is going to decrease. Is equals to what? Self dot underscore balance. Okay, minus what? Amount. Okay, so here also we have to call the same thing, that is calling the amount and then checking the balance. So we will just call that here. Okay, so is it clear for everyone here? Okay, after that, if you want, you can write in one more function to display the menu. Okay, that is like a repeating story. We can just write it down here. Okay, so we can just write with what? ATM. Okay, so I'm just going to give the choice for an ATM. So how can we give it? It is very simple. Okay, so I'm just going to write ATM menu. Okay, and then I'm going to pass the cell for this. Okay, and then the same story starts again. So I'll just copy that and then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, from here the choice is everything is the same. Uh, okay, so I'll just go back to my previous code and then I will copy that and then paste it here. Okay, my code is here, so I'll just copy this. Okay, so all the things is the same. I'll just copy this. Okay, all four things is the same. Okay, so now I'll just copy this and then get back here or get back here and then paste it here. Okay, so always remember the indentation plays a very important role. See, it is not indented, so we will just indent it. After that, you should understand that we have to make some changes. Okay, we have to do what? We have to make some changes. What is the changes that we have to do? Wherever we have balance, we have to change it to what? Other words. Correct? So we will just do that. Okay. Okay, and let me just put this inside and then balance. Now what becomes the balance? Can you guys tell me? It becomes self dot balance. Okay, wherever you see balance, okay, wherever you see balance, I should make it as what? A self dot underscore balance. Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just copy this self dot balance. Okay, copy. And then we'll just put this inside. Okay, elif and then what? Try. Okay, and then this comes inside. Okay, again, this comes inside, this comes inside, this comes inside, and then this comes inside. So here balance is there. I'll just copy and then I will just make it as what? Self dot balance. If it throws an error, then we will edit it accordingly. Okay, but it should become what? Self dot balance. And here also it is what? Self dot balance. Wherever we have balance, we should change it to what? Self dot balance. And then tab here, this will also go inside home and then try. Okay, I think this should go a bit more inside. Okay, and this is inside. And now this is correct. Okay, so I'll just go to home and then I will put this inside. Okay, so after this, we will put this. Suppose it is number 3. Okay, so the try should go inside again. Okay, so the try goes in. Except I'm putting it in the right way. I'm checking here where is the try. See, this is the exact float. Okay, after this, we have try, right? That's what, try and then accept. Okay, so this is try and then amount goes inside again. Okay, and then the balance. Here also, remember, this balance will become what? Self dot balance. We have to change it. Okay, and then put it inside, home, inside, and this one also inside. Okay, and else. Okay, inside, and here again we have to edit it. We will do that. Okay, and we will do this. Okay, so we'll just make it as balance and this, and then balance, and then this. Okay, here also the balance will become what? Self dot balance. Basically, what like in the last session, what we have written, so I'm just adding it. I think you guys understood like how you can write a simple program into a complicated one, isn't it, guys? Anybody have doubt? Please respond back. Okay, and then else, this is what print. Okay, so after this printing the choice, okay, after this printing the choice, now what I have to do, I have to create an object. This is very, very important. How do we create? Let me say ATM I'm creating and then ATM is my class name. Correct. After this, I'm going to pass what? I'm going to pass the balance as what? 1,000 rupees. Okay, now I'm just going to get it what? ATM dot ATM underscore menu. Right, this is what I have passed. Now let's run the code and then check. Okay, so just go to the terminal, just go here, okay, and change the directory to what? Class number 3. Okay, if it is throwing any error, let's correct together. So Python and then a.py. So you can see it is throwing an error that amount expected intended try in the line number 34. So where is my line number 34? Okay, I got it. Line number 34. Okay, it's here. Okay. Okay, now let me just clear this and then let me just run. Okay, it is saying that somewhere ATM is not defined in line number 62. Let me just go to line number 62. So this will is equals. I have missed what? Equals. Okay, and let me just run the code. Okay, it is saying that it is not just the balance. ATM takes no arguments. Okay, is it? I've passed now for ATM balance. I have passed here. Okay, balance is equals to what? Balance I have already passed it. It is not okay. Okay, should I said I missed a new keyword here because it's a variable, right? So I'll just make it a new. Okay, and let me here and then let me just write. Okay, ATM. Okay, ATM is a correct one already. I have given. What is the mistake? It is saying that it is an invalid syntax. Okay, I'll just pass 1,000 actually. Okay. Now let me just try this. It is same inorganic syntax. Well, number 62. What is the mistake, students? Anybody know? 1 second. Mm, ATM, we can just pass. Okay, I'll just try this now. Okay, I'll just pull this up and then now let me just try. If I just run this, okay, it is telling that ATM takes no argument. Okay, then fine, I will do something here. I'll just go here and then I will make it as okay, I have already passed here. Ah, okay, that is the reason it is saying that. Okay, let me just clear this and then let me just run this. Okay, okay, it's still saying that it doesn't take. Okay, now let me just go back here and let me just hit this. Okay, and I just okay. Can you see now it is working? Okay, so now what I can do? One. Okay, it's throwing an error saying that line number 63, ATM dot menu. It is saying that ATM menu. Okay, 1 second. My menu is here. Okay, define ATM menu and then in the cells. Okay. Okay, what is the mistake? Let me just check. ATM object has no attribute called as underscore balance. Okay. Okay. If I does not keep balance here, it doesn't work. Mhm. Okay, let me just let me just run. Okay, it is saying that line number 63, it's an issue. 1 second, we'll just see. Okay, ATM is an object. ATM dot ATM. What is the mistake here? Okay. It is telling that it should not take an argument. Okay. Okay. Let me just pass self here. Pass column here. No, just like it is not going to take. 1 second. Let me just check my code. Is that I have written any mistake or what? Okay, I will start from my. Okay, I'll start from my define ATM. Okay, so it is here. Okay, define ATM. Okay. So I think this should go inside or what? Okay, self while true. Okay, we have given all the choice and then I have given the choice number 1. Okay, so it is self dot. Okay, it is 2. Okay. Okay, I got my mistake, guys. It is not 1 underscore, it is 2 underscore. So this also it is not 1, it's 2. So here it is 1 more. Okay. So it is 1 more. Nice. Right. Okay, so here also this can be. Okay, it's like balance. Check balance is a function. Okay, so this is the thing. We will try giving for the first one and then we will check. Okay, to terminal. Just go to the terminal. Okay, I'll just pull this one here. Okay, I have taken the terminal itself and then let's check. Okay, and it's here. We're missing one positional argument. Let me just see what is the positional argument that I'm missing. Okay, it is saying that. Okay, now it is showing it correctly. So it is saying that I have passed something and which I have not done here. So it is 1000. Okay. So now if I just run this, see balance, see we are getting the balance. And if I try to deposit, let me say I'm going to deposit around 2,500. Okay, now because I didn't correct that, let me just do that. Okay, I think I should start doing it from where? Balance. Okay, here. Okay, so this is one more underscore. Okay, this is one more underscore. And this is one more underscore. Okay, and this is one more underscore. That's all. Okay, so that's all. Now I think it should work. Okay. So one we are getting the balance of two. I'm just depositing 2,500. Okay, still throwing another saying that line number 37. Okay, it says that line number 37. Okay, yeah. And, okay. So now it works properly. Okay, I'm just doing this. And then if I just run one, let me just check the balance. And then two, so let me just deposit 2,500. See, after depositing, 1,000 was there. So now this becomes that. If I just give three, I will give 1,500 as the withdrawal. So we are going to get, and then four as the exit. Can you see, guys? My program is working exactly the same. Anybody have doubt with the program that I have written? Anybody have doubt with the program that I have written? Quick message in the chat, please. Okay, and then I'm going to paste the output. Now I will give you 10 minutes time. Why don't you give a same program try? Because if I give another question, you guys are not trying. Okay, so please give a try on the same program. And if you are getting any issue, please let me know in the chat. Okay, start guys. I'll give you 10 minutes. By 45, I will start the another program. Start guys. Guys, so we'll move to the next one. So we start the next project. Please say something. Okay. So what is the next project that I would like to do is, let me say, I'm going to call that as, let me say that I'm going to create a Python file. Okay. The next project that I will be doing is, okay, I will be loading the expenses. I will load my expenses. Okay, I will load my expenses. Okay. And that expenses will be stored in a different file. Clear, guys? I will load my expenses and that expenses has to be stored somewhere, correct? That expenses will be stored in a different file. In a what? A different file. So this is the next project that I will be showing it to you guys. Okay, basically it is storing and then retrieving. So both is going to work here. Okay, store and then retrieving. Anybody have any idea like how exactly we can do this? Okay, this is basically store and then retrieve. Anyone? Anyone can just write one message like what exactly you guys are thinking about it. Okay, I got one message. Using database. Very nice, Sharanya. What else? Without using database, can't we create this? With database, we need a backend. See, we cannot basically Python and then database are both are backend. Database is a software. Okay. So we can actually connect. Okay, we have something called as a MySQL connector, and then we can do it. But I will show you much more simpler way. Can anyone give more answers? But Sharana, thank you so much. Anybody? Anybody wants to give more answers? Nobody. Okay, I will use something called as files. We have something called as file handling. Okay, file handling concept in what? Python. Concept in Python. Okay, so what is it? Let me just tell you. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this, the complete program, and then I will start writing here. So now, as I want to handle the file operations, like checking the file, whether if it is exist or it is not going to happen, where it is going to happen, basically it operates on my local machine, correct? In order to do that, I have to use something called as import OS. That is nothing but what? Operating system. Okay, so here what I will do means I'm going to write four or five set of code. Okay, what is that five set of code means? First code what I will write is basically function, okay, to load. Okay, so this is the function to load expenses. Okay, expenses from file. Okay, so this is the first program that I will write. Okay, and the second one is functions to save the expenses to a file. Okay, function to save, okay, save expenses to a file. Okay, to a file. This is one more, and displaying all the like to display functions to display all the expenses. Function to display all the expenses. All the expenses. Okay. And the last, I think I'll write one more, adding an expense. Suppose if you want to add an expense, we can write function to what? Add a new expense. Okay. And the last one is the main function to handle the user interaction. So I'm just going to write what? Main function to handle user interaction. Okay, these are the five programs that in a single program I'm going to write all these things. Okay, first let's start. Anybody know like how we can load the expenses from the file? Anybody? Anybody? No. Okay, fine. I'm just going to create one function. Let me say def. Okay. So here I'm just going to say load expenses. Okay, where I have to add, I'm just going to pass some file name. Like file name, as file name only I will pass. Okay. Now what it should happen is, it should load the expense if the file exists. So first we have to check whether the file path exists or not. How can we check? Means if os.path.exists. Okay, if os path dot exists, and then if I just give something called as a file name. Okay, so then, okay, if I just give like file name, okay, so next I will just write, like if it exists, then it should open. We know that there are so many different ways that we can open a file. I'm just going with open, and then I'm just going to pass that file underscore name, and then I'm just going to say read. So you should be, guys, okay, so there should be, like, we should use something called as an R with it. Okay, and then what? As file. Okay, so as file, and I want each line to be read, so I'm just going to write something called as an lines. And suppose if I am printing something, like if I'm giving like multiple things, then I have to split that multiple things with a comma. So I'm just going to return. Okay, I'm just going to return my lines. Okay, line basically. Okay, wait, I'm just going to write this line, and then I'm just going to strip that. Okay, I'm going to strip that, and then I'm going to split with what? Comma. Okay, I'm going to split that with what? Comma. So this is what exactly I'm going to do, guys. Okay, anybody have doubt? Okay, so after this, what I will do, I'm just going to, this is basically my variable. So I'm just going to write for line in lines. Okay, for line in what? Lines. I think everybody know something called as comprehensions exists. So this is one which I have written from the comprehensions. Okay, and so basically whatever that I have written, it is going to parse the lines into a list of lists. Okay, after that you can just write something called as return. Okay, I'm just going to return that empty one. So like if it doesn't exist, okay, if it is not existing, okay, so I'm just going to write here. Okay, if it is not existing, then it should like show that as if it is not going to exist. I think I will write it here. Okay, so this is fine. Anybody have doubt with this code? Anybody have doubt with this code, guys? Anybody, please, one quick okay or not okay message. Understanding, not understanding. Is it done till here? Okay. Next, I will say that I need to save. So if I want to save again, I'm just going to create another file. Okay, save, and then I'm just going to write something called as expenses. Okay, and then I'm just going to write my file name. Okay, thank you so much. Someone uh, reverted back. Okay, so I'll just write it. Thank you, Mata. Okay, so these are the expenses. So here, what I'm going to do is, so basically, I want to save the expenses. So in order to save the expenses, again, first I have to open the file. So with open, okay, with open, and then I'm just going to write something called as a file name. Okay, and then I'm just going to use what? A W. That basically reads my file as what? As file. Okay, as file. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the loop because I want everything to be added. So I'm just going to add it in the form of what? For loop. Expense. Okay, in expenses. Okay, expense in what? Expenses. Okay, so now what I will do, so after I loop, I just want to write everything that it is going to loop with, it should join with a comma basically. So I'll just write file dot write. Okay, and here I'm just going to give comma, and then I'm just going to give what? Dot join. Okay, and then what? Expenses. Okay, I'm just going to give what? Expense. After this, if you want, you can just add everything in the new line by giving what? Slash n. That is the escape sequence. Is this is fine? Anybody have doubt? Let me just cross check. So say the expenses, file name, and then expenses. So I'm just going to open the file with the file name, and then I'm going to write as a file. Okay, and then I want to repeat everything. So I'm just going to use for loop, and then I'm just going to write file dot write. That's all. Okay, next we have function to display all the expenses. So how can we display all the expenses? Anyone? How can we display all the expenses? Okay, I will write the program for displaying all the expenses. So basically, again, I'm just going to create another function, define display. Okay, define display expenses. Okay, and then here I'm going to write it what? I'm going to write it all the expenses. Okay, all the expenses. Okay, after this, what I'll do, suppose if the expense list is empty, so we need to check that. So before we like display all the expenses in the format, first we have to check whether it is empty or not. For that, I'm just going to write if not expense, if not expenses. Okay, then it should display this something like no expense. Expenses to what? Display. Okay, and then it should written. Okay, so then it should written. Okay, so what it should written, so basically it should print. Okay, so what it should print, it should basically print the date. Okay, it should print the date, it should print the category. Okay, category, and then it should print the amount. Okay, so after this, like we have to divide the expenses with the line. So we can just like, I just want to calculate. I don't think so. I didn't to calculate. That's okay. I'm just going to use the for expenses because I want to repeat everything here. Expenses in what? Expense. Okay. After this, you can just print it. Okay, you can just print the expenses. Like suppose if the expense is less than 10, what happens? Less than 12, what happens? Like formatting the expenses also you can just do. I will just print something called as expense here. Okay, I will just print what? Expenses here. Now, suppose if you want to add a new expense, how can you add? Let me just show you that. So I'm just going to define, okay, add expense. Okay, before I do the other part of code, can you guys do this? Okay, can you type till here? I'll give you like around 8 minutes time. Say one quick yes or no, please. One second, I'm just okay. One second, I'm just going to show. Then I'm just checking my code. Okay, so I'll just present the screen. So please type as quickly as possible because everything at once means anyone will feel difficulty. Okay, so just I'll just present the screen so you can just do that. Okay. Yeah, you can start typing it, guys. Okay, I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes time. Yeah, I'm sharing it. Yeah, I'm sharing it. Yeah, please do start this program. I'll give you like 5 to 10 minutes. You can type it. Later, we will start adding the expenses. Guys, done? Shall I go ahead with the next? Shall I go ahead with the next? Please respond. Guys, please respond. I'm just going to show you like how to add a new expense. Now, thank you, thank you. Finally, someone or the other is responding. I'm happy. Okay, now in order to add an expense, what we have to do? Yeah, thank you. I'm just doing that. So in order to add an expense, again, I'm just going to define a function and then I'm going to add and then expense. Okay, expense, and then I'm going to pass a variable called as what? Expenses. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new expense to a list. But what I want to add is I want to add date also to it. So in order to add a date, I'm just going to type date and then I'm just going to give input. Okay, and then I'm just going to give enter the date. I'm just going to give what? Enter the date. So how to enter the date? Basically, first we are going to enter the year and then 2M and then 2Ds. Okay, so after this, I'm just going to do this and then I'm going to give something called as a dot strip. So based on the category it should get. So I'm going to give what? Strip. Ma'am, I don't hear you. Is it everybody is facing that? Anybody not able to hear me? Hello, hello. Hello, can you guys hear me, Sushmita? Is that I'm audible? Okay, so this is basically the strip. Okay, after this, let me just enter the category. So that's basically category. Okay, category. Okay, so I'm just going to enter the category. So here I'm just going to take what? Input. What is that input? That's basically enter. Okay, I'm just going to enter the category. Okay, enter the category. Okay, and here you can just give an example, like suppose if you are interested to add the food expense, or if you want to add what? Transport. Okay, transport expense, you can just add it over here. And the same thing here also, I'm just going to add something like this. Okay, something like this, and then I'm just going to strip this also at the end dot strip. Okay, and then I'm just going to add this also. That's basically strip. After that, what next? We have to add what? Amount. What's the amount? You can just write something called as an input. Okay, and then we can just write enter the amount. Okay, enter the amount, and then we can just do what? So we can just do something like dot strip. Okay, dot strip. You can just do this. Okay. After this, I have to append everything to this expenses. Can you see this is my parameter, right? I just want to append everything to that. So how to do that? It is expenses. Okay, expenses dot append. Okay, expenses dot append. And then I'm just going to give date. Okay, category. Okay, and then what else I have added? Amount. Okay, and then what? Amount. After this, I will tell that I'm just going to print one message saying that expenses added successfully. Okay, I'm just going to add what? Expenses added successfully. Okay, successfully. So this is about adding the expenses. Now comes the main program. So now we have to write. I'm just going to define my main function and then I'm going to write here. Okay, so there I have given a file name, right? Now I'm going to specify that file name with the actual file name. I'm just going to give file name is equals to, let me just say, see here, we have only a.py and then class.3. I'm just going to give something called as xlr.text file. Okay, and then I'm just going to write here my all the expenses. Okay, is equals to what? Load. Okay, underscore expenses. Okay, expenses. And then here I'm just going to write the file name that I need to add. Okay, now it should display, right? Date, category, expenses, everything. So again, the same story that we did in the previous example. Okay, and I'm just going to write a display. For displaying the menu, I'm just going to write it is print, okay, slash n. I'm just going to write expense tracker. Okay, expense tracker, and then I'm just going to print what? Add the expense. One dot what? Add expense. Okay, and expense, and then I'm just going to print what? I'm just going to print number 2 is equals to dot view expense. Okay, view expense, and then at the last I'm just going to give what? Save and then exit. I'm just going to write like this, third one, and then I'm just going to write what? Save and exit. Okay, save and then exit, and then I'm just going to write the choice. Okay, so I'm just going to write input, okay, choice and option. So sorry, choose an option. Okay, we are just going to write what? Choosing an option. So that's basically 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm just going to give this. At last, I'm just going to give what? String. Okay, so suppose if it is a choice one, what it should do now we have to write. Okay, suppose if it is a choice is equals to what? 1, then what it should do? So basically it should add an expense. I'm just going to call add expense program. I mean the function. Okay, expenses. Expenses. I'm just going to add. Okay, after this, I'm just going to add one elif. Okay, I'm going to add one elif. That's basically choice is equals to what? 2. Okay, that's basically is equals to what? 2. And then here I'm just going to write what? Display expenses. Okay, I'm just going to write display expenses, and it is what? Expenses. Okay, display expenses. Okay, add and then display. So after this, I'm just going to give one more elif. Okay, and then I'm just going to give choice is equals to what? And then 3. So what exactly I'm going to get? You give your means. I want to save the expenses. So I'm just going to give save expenses. Okay, save expenses, and then the file name I'm just going to give, and then the expenses. Basically, I'm just passing the things, that's all. After this, if it is giving the exit, so we'll just save, we'll just write one message saying that expenses saved, and then we are going to say what? Goodbye. Okay, so after this, once it is saying goodbye, it should break. Okay, else. The last condition is else. I'm just going to print invalid choice. Invalid what? Choice. Okay, and then I'm just going to put like this, and then please try again. Please try again. Okay, so that's all. So now basically we have to give the main program. So I'll just come here, and then if okay, and then I'm just going to pass a name. Okay, and if I just give equals, and then if I just pass a main, okay, and then here I'm just going to write this and then this. Okay, and then I'm just going to write what? The main function. Okay, that's all. This is the program. Now see, as soon as I run, you can see here a file will be created. We'll just see first whether it works or not. Okay, I'll just run the code, clear this, okay, and a.py. Okay, it is throwing an error. Name is not defined. Did you mean that? Okay, I think I don't know why I'm missing like one more. Yes. Okay, and let me just clear this. Clear this, and let me just run. Okay, it is getting printed. It is this same program database. It is this something else not happening. Just give me it. 1 second. I'm just checking what is it. And here I want to change it to okay. So now let me just give a try. Okay. Let me just give a try now. Okay. Everybody see the screen? Okay, now let's just see. If I just run, okay, see now we are going to get it. So now what exactly? So let me just say I want to add the expenses. I'll just give one. So we have to write the year. So it is basically 2024. And what month it is? 12th month. And then today's date is what? December 4th. That is 04. Okay, enter. So what category? So let me say I have I had a transport today, and then let me just say I'm just going to give transport and then 120 rupees. Okay, see, it is telling that expenses has been successfully added. Okay, if you want to view the expense, you can just go with the two. See, it is going to show that in the form of that. And then if you want to save and then exit, if you just click on 3, see, can you see xlr.txt, the file has been created. And if you just click on it, see, it will be saved over here. It's nice now. So this is how the program works. I will explain it again if you want, but now you will also upload this program. And just copy this program and then I will add it to the text. Okay. And I will give you a simple. Why don't you create a documentation on this? Yesterday I gave you the flow, right? So can at least one do the documentation and then send it to me? I'm just going to add this. Okay, I'm just going to add this. This is the output. I'll give you 10 minutes time. So why don't you do this and then show it to me? So this. Start from add expenses. Start. Okay, if this is done, guys, shall we go ahead with the next project? One quick message in the chat, please. Okay, I'll give you another 5 or 10 minutes. I want one documentation, like how exactly you guys are doing, so that I can correct it later. Okay, can you please do one documentation for this program? Like what is the abstract, what is the introduction, like how exactly you wrote the program. I'll give you another 5 minutes. Just write one message in the chat. At least one is trying in 138 members, please. I'll wait for that if you are trying so that I can correct it. Even one also doesn't want to try. Yeah? See, it's not for my good. I'm saying for your good. I'm not asking something new. I have already given the explanation like what we have done. Okay, one, at least I want you to make the documentation. Who will do the documentation? Anyone. 139 members. I can see 139. So who wants to do the documentation? Come on, guys. Anybody? Nobody wants to do it. So bad. Okay, we will go for a quick 5 minute break. After coming back, I will go ahead with the next project. Okay, I'll be back by 25. We will scroll up. Okay, okay, fine. I will take a break for 5 minutes. It is 26. So I'll be back by 31. Okay, I'll be back by 8:31. Do you mind saying the line number where exactly I should scroll up, Mata? Line number, if you say, I think it will be nice. Let's save the expenses, right? Okay. This is on? Yeah, I think this is on. Yeah, okay. So Okay, we'll start one more question. So everybody ready? Okay, so now from tomorrow I'm going to start one complete project, basically a database that I'm going to start with. Okay, where we are going to design a front end. Like I'm talking about tomorrow's session. Okay, tomorrow what we will do is tomorrow I'm going to start Django project, where you can design one application. I'll not go with a very complicated application, very simple application. Okay, where we are going to design a database of a student. Okay, simple application of student database. Okay, student database, where front end will be designed. Okay, front end. Okay, front end, and we are going to use Python, and then we are going to use database. Are going to use what? A database. This is what exactly we are going to do tomorrow. Okay, so now we will do the one last project of the day. Okay, so that's basically quiz data. What is it? Quiz data. Okay, let's do the quiz data. See, before I do quiz data, let me only just to show you like how exactly we can make the documentation out of it. Okay, so I will just be keep on asking you guys. You can just let me know like what exactly I have to do. Okay, I will just open a notepad and then I will ask. Okay, so now tell me what was the abstract of the program that we just did it now. Okay, I want what? I want abstract. Abstract. So what is the abstract of the program that we started, guys? First, always give the title. Okay, so first always give the project title. So what was the project title? Saving, okay, TITLE, right? Okay, what was the project TITLE? Okay, so what was the project title, guys, that we have used over there? What was the project title? So basically, storing and then retrieving our expenses. Storing and retrieving, okay, arriving our expenses. Our expenses. Correct. Now I will start asking. I want you guys to help me in making the things. So what is the abstract? What is the abstract of this? Can anyone like write it down? Like what is abstract? Like what exactly would it be? I want the answer. Please don't sit quiet. What is the abstract? Anybody? What is the abstract of this? Is anybody writing the abstract really seriously? It's so painful. Brief summary. That's what I'm asking, Harsha. What is that brief summary? Write it down for that program. We wrote this program, right? For this program, what was the brief abstract? So I'm asking you guys to write it down. What is it? And then send it to me in the chat so that I will write and then I will correct it. Anybody trying, ma'am? Trying, wait. At least one message in the chat. Anybody, please, one message in the chat if anybody is writing. If not, then I will go ahead and then I will be writing it. Okay. What is abstract? Actually, what are all the things, guys, that we gave into it? So we actually wrote 5 functions, correct? We can just brief about like what. Thank you so much. Someone did it for me. Okay. Abstract provides very nice, Mata. So good. Just wait, ma'am. Sure, Pramod, I will wait. Okay. Even Durga Bhavani also I will wait. I can see this script provides 2 functions to manage expenses using a text file. Load expenses, save Not only 2 functions, we basically have 5 expenses. So if you want, you can send it out, but this is fair enough. But I am expecting more answers, please. The process of removing unnecessary details from the code. What is that? We can't write that, Durga Bhavani, the process of removing and all, we can't write. I can actually go ahead, whatever that Mata has given, that is also taking away or removing the characteristics from something in order to reduce it. No, Manik, this was not the program, right? This was the program that I'm talking about, where not this ATM, I'm talking about this program. See, we wrote no expenses. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got such a big answer. Okay, briefing the summary generates a brief summary. This one we can put it in the code. Okay, but I'm still asking for the, okay, I'm still asking for the abstract. Okay, so can you just give what is the introduction that I should write for it? This, what is the introduction that I have to write for it? Can anybody give? The abstraction is fine. Okay, introduction. Next, how did we start? How did we start writing the program? Okay, introduction. So, how did we start writing the program? So, I can start explaining. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you guys are okay. Amazing presentations, Mandarin. Okay, mastering your okay. This is how you guys write abstraction. Wait, this will be the conclusion, right? Okay. Okay, so just abstraction, we will give all the details. We will not give the details, right? Okay, I'll just make this one as a conclusion if you want. Okay, maybe this is the one of the Python program. Okay. But this comes under the conclusion according to me. Now, what you guys have to do, what I'm expecting is introduction, like how exactly I started writing the program. Okay, start explaining bits by bits and then just start giving it, then I will be adding it. Okay, conclusion. Okay, just write that whatever you have sent, I think I can go that with the conclusion. Okay, so yeah, I'm waiting for the introduction. Yes, guys, you can start. Yeah, attendance. They will give first, write the introduction. Vinita, Vinita and Bhamyak. Can you write the introduction first? Okay. Somebody writing? Can you just write one message in the chat, ma'am? We are trying. Wait for introduction, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Very nice introduction, brief summary. It should be little big, Mata. Okay. So you can still elaborate it. I want it to be bit elaborated way. Can you just do that? One little more elaborated way, Mata, I want. Please do that. Okay. Good, Mata. Elaborated means explain or describe in greater detail. Like how exactly I started. I'm just asking you to explain that program, Mata. Okay? Like explain, like how I started, introduction. So what exactly we did. I want that explanation. Okay? Yeah. If you want, I will send that entire program. So you can just take that program, understand it. Okay, and then you can just send it, the introduction part. Okay, it does not. Okay. I'll just give the entire program and then I will send it in the chat. So for this entire program, okay, it is saying it's too big. I'm just going to split the program and I will send you. Okay. Just going to send to 28. Okay. Okay. Abstract. Summary of the program. Okay. What is it? Scope, objective. Introduction, I want it to be like at least one page. You guys getting it? So I feel like whatever you guys are giving, it's too small and it is like out of the concept, I feel. See, when I say introduction, what is this operating system? So I want you to start explaining the code. We are not elaborating some project, like we are not that did some big project, the small project, but I want that proper explanation. That's all. Obviously, I have sent to the program. According to this, I want the introduction. Okay, I'll just copy this and then I will send it. Right, you guys try this out. Okay, it's still too big, it is saying. Just split this program. Just see, I've sent to the code. Now start doing the introduction for it. Everybody, please try. Okay, okay. Thank you. We cannot use the concept of oops. Why are you explaining the concept of oops? No, I don't want the concept of oops. Just explain about the method. Okay. And is this okay for your project you have sent? Good. But I want it for my project. Whatever the project that I have done, please do for that. Okay. Somebody give the introduction. I'm still waiting. don't want you to elaborate what I want. Okay, I want you to elaborate what you know. Please don't say that. Please meeting that I am happy. Yeah. If you read it in own words, it will be really good. Yeah. Can you explain like how to introduct them? So basically, it is like how does your program starts? Okay, so you can start explaining like how does that expenses like you can manage the expenses. You can start writing about it first, like something like my program. Okay, my program or my project. Okay, I'm just giving a rough picture. Okay, my project explains. Okay, my project explains about how to manage my expenses. How to manage my expenses. Okay, in order to write the program. Okay, you can just write something like this. In order to solve this project. Okay, solve this project. I started. Okay, I started writing five functions. I started writing or using five functions. Okay, five functions where each functions elaborates many things. Okay, you can just write where function each function elaborates the following. Okay, the following. So you can just copy the first piece of code and then you can start writing about it to chat or LMS. I didn't receive. I put it in the chat. Okay. Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, first part of the code. So I will just copy the entire like five functions, whatever I have written, I will just copy all those things and then I will write it down. Okay, copy this, get back here, and then as the following. So you can just put it on here. Okay, and then you can start writing what are the functions that you have added. Okay, so you can just like upon an introduction. Okay, so here, okay, let me just make it here. Okay, so following, what is that first one? So the first function is basically this. So just copy and then paste it. Copy and then paste it. Okay, and then the second one is what is the function that I have written? See, whenever you are writing a documentation, it should be apt. It should not be like a story creator. Okay, it should be like actual story writer. Got it? Getting my point? So after this, I want to copy this one also. Okay, it is not copying multiple lines. Okay, copy this. This is for the third one. Okay, and then the fourth and then fifth also we have. Okay, 1 second, I'll check the chat. Okay, adding the new expense and the main function. So I'll just copy this and then now you can start elaborating on it. Someone asked, no, I think now you understood. So this is this is how you have to write it. Okay, now you can just elaborate on each one of it detailedly. Okay, can you start doing that at least? Okay, very nice. There are key points highlighted to the quick understanding a brief summary. Again, it's a story, I feel, but yeah, I will start writing somewhere. Can you please ask if anyone got it or else get it or only it's me? Guys, everybody got the like code that I have sent in the chat. See, I've sent, right? I've sent for Sushmita. Okay, fine. I'll just send it for everyone. Okay, I'll just send it for everyone. 1 second. Mm. Mm. This is one part of the code that I have written. And this is another part of the code that I have written. Copy this and then I'm just going to put it over. Okay, and third part of the code. Yes, this. Okay, I hope so. Now you understood. So now you have to elaborate on each part of it. Okay, so I'll just put it over here. Okay, I think now you got the code. Don't worry, I'll just I will just share the file like whatever I have done. Okay, so this is how. Thanks. Yeah, thank you so much. So this is how you have to elaborate it. I'll just save this file. Okay, I'll just save this file and then I will send this also. I want you guys to elaborate it. Okay, so I'll just go to this college training class number 3. Okay, and then I'm just going to give documentation. Okay, documentation. Okay, I'm going to share all the files in the chat. Attendance. Okay, so I'm just going to share the file. Okay, all the the program files as well as the other things also I will share, and then I will leave for the day. Okay, so I will just take this. Okay, under 3. I think I will go with this one. Okay, and that's all. So I've sent both the files. Okay. I sent the documentation. Like I have not done any documentation. Like whatever you have given, I have just written this. Okay, so please elaborate on everything and then just let me know. Okay. So anybody have any doubts in today's session? Anybody have any doubts in today's session? Ma'am, I have already. Okay. No, thank you so much. Sushmita, then I leave for the day. Sushmita, bye.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Okay. We'll meet again by tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye.
So, students, I'm sharing the attendance link again on the chat. Kindly mark your attendance. If you're done with an attendance, you can drop for this. Like, we are done for the day, you can drop the session. I'm sharing the attendance link again. Kindly mark your attendance.